This has been a very long-awaited video. While I tell this story, I thought I would show some footage to help you see what journey I went through. I've never told this story to anyone before. First, let's get it straight that there's nothing wrong with the exterior in the pictures on the left or the right. They're beautiful in their own way, but there is something wrong with the mental state of the girl on the left. I haven't told this story to anyone before, but if I can help someone in any small way, I felt like I needed to share my story. I wasn't healthy. I don't mean this just physically, I mean this mentally and internally. I had bulimia. In the photo on the left, I was extremely unhealthy, binge eating and then throwing up, punishing myself and not eating all day and then throwing up what I ate at night. No one knew this because I wasn't skinny. I was in denial and my relationship with food was destroying many aspects of my life. From family to school, I was suffering and I felt like everything was against me. I was so unhappy. I was comparing myself to others online and I fell further into my illness. After getting help and coming to terms with my situation, I started on my path to recover. 3 years later, and you'd honestly never know. It'll always be part of me, but unfortunately that's why I'm telling my story, so girls don't consider this route as an option. I started gym and I started focusing on getting strong. I set goals, ate heaps of healthy food, wholesome and nutritious food, and started increasing my knowledge as I worked towards my goals. I now eat 4 times the amount as the girl on the left. I work out and I feel strong. I take pride in my body and I love and I feel confident in my skin. Having an education and knowledge has been a cure for me. Honestly, gaining an understanding of food and my body has helped me to be able to feel confident in my own skin. Of course, we're going to have insecurities, but training to get stronger and eating to fuel my body has enabled me to adopt the mentality that my body is a temple and I need to cherish it as I will never have another. This progress I'm extremely proud of, and I hope that I can help you in the future too. Don't train, it'll make you look like a baby wrestler. You have thunder thighs. Everyone has insecurities. Mine are my legs. I don't have the best genetic structure as I'm only 5 foot and I've got really short legs which hold most of my weight, comparing myself to unrealistic standards. This led me to having an eating disorder. When I say gym changed my life, I mean it. Fitness truly is a lifestyle. Training gave me an outlet for suppressed energies created by stress and therefore toned my spirit just as exercise conditioned my body. Ever since gaining knowledge about fitness and nutrition, my thought process was completely altered. I no longer have shame over thicker thighs as I instead embrace their strong and healthy physique. They're a representation of how hard I work, which I'm proud of and only want to build to make stronger. Yes, I still have insecurities, but becoming passionate about fitness has allowed my body confidence to grow so much and I'm able to be confident in my skin. I'm able to be proud of how far I've come. I'm going to keep sharing my story because I don't want others to start their journey as I've started mine. I want young men and women to have the knowledge that I lacked to stop or help prevent them from falling into the same traps. To have self-confidence and not even consider that route as an option. Knowledge is power. My journey hasn't been easy. It's been a lot of pushing through my eating disorder, pushing through my brain, thinking that eating more is bad, pushing through training, pushing through. There's no finish line. My transformation goes way beyond physical change. It's mental, internal, and my self-belief and confidence is only growing stronger, which my body is reflecting. Fitness enables me to feel alive, strong, and powerful. I feel empowered. Don't give up. Results take time. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome on board, and if you're not new here, then welcome back. I am going to be doing a long awaited video. Like, you guys have been requesting this for a while now and I have just always put it off because I haven't finished it yet, so kind of just like little thing with myself where I just wanted to be able to put out the best video and best information I possibly could to help you guys as much as I possibly could. I'm just going to try and provide you guys something that's going to release a little bit of stress from you, hopefully, and help you out just a little bit in your own lives and in your own journeys. Let's get to it. This video is going to be all about my fitness journey, my body progress, and the journey that I have been on. If you guys have seen my Instagram posts, which I'll put here, I spoke in depth about my journey, struggles that I've had to go through, and ups and downs as every journey has. Very content in where I am currently, and I would love to share with you my fitness journey. This is going to be a video that has a lot of talking in it, so please be prepared for that. But I'm going to try and include like clips and images and stuff like that to try and spice it up a little bit to make it a little bit more interesting for you. But if you guys would like to know all about that, then without further ado, let's get into it. It's a very, very long journey, and I still haven't finished my journey. I don't think you can ever really say that you have finished your fitness journey. There's so much stuff that I would love to learn and so much more that I would love to do and learn. However, in saying that, I have come a very, very long way from where I was. As a young girl, my family has always been like a very big eaters, but we've also been extremely fit at the same time. I grew up eating a fair whack of food, eat the same amount of food as my dad, and they were always very big meals. And then we'd go and have all these activities, like I was doing gymnastics 21 hours a week, and then I was doing athletics, cross country. It was a lot of physical activity that I was doing, as well as just normal school sport and activity. I was very active, therefore I was eating a lot. And also growing up as a kid, you need to eat a lot, so I was never worried about my weight, nor should you be. You were eating good, healthy food, and you were eating a lot of it, but you were burning a lot of it off. Then I went into high school. As every does, they go through their own issues with high school and with body image and everything. I think every girl, every teenage girl especially, will go through some sort of body image issue, which is so sad, and that is something that I really want to be a massive advocate of, to try and stop that. I used to always look at people that said they had eating disorders and whatever and think, how could they do that to themselves? Like, how does that even happen? You don't even realize it happening. I don't know necessarily if you guys want me to talk about this in this video or just do a whole video based on that. Maybe I'll touch on it a little bit in this, and then I can do a whole video on it in another. When I was about 16, I was going out a lot, like just with my friends and parties every bloody weekend. I had a best friend who I was extremely close with at the time, and my school friends, and then I had a boyfriend. When I got my boyfriend, I think I stopped caring as much about what I ate because I had a boyfriend, and like, you know, you eat what they eat. You have snacks on the weekend because you're sitting in bed and like you're just like cuddling and whatever, and you're eating snacks and whatever. It's a pretty bad habit that I had, and I was eating a lot of food and I wasn't exercising at all. I went from exercising a lot as a kid to then exercising not too much, and then not at all when I was dating this guy. And I got a little bit bigger, not in a sense of bigger, but big for me, and me personally, I noticed it. I didn't notice it while I was dating him, but then when we broke up, he actually cheated on me. We broke up, and so after that, I think it really it hit me, and I was like, oh my god, I've got to get myself back to a state that I was happy with, like back to a body type and that I was happy with. For me, but also because I wanted to get out and play the field again, whatever. After a breakup, obviously you want to look your best, you want to have that revenge body, like you want all that kind of stuff, and that's kind of what I had even at 16. I went through a stage, I was comparing myself a lot to people online. I was looking at my body, looking at my sister's body, looking at like Instagram and looking at everyone around me and thinking like, why can't I lose this weight? Not eating that much different food. And I went through a really, really bad mindset that was a very gradual process. I was in a massive denial, and I started binge eating and then throwing up. Had bulimia. Little did I know at the time, I was completely in denial. I did not think that I had anything wrong with me. I was just like completely... So I did it, but I kept it in secret because subconsciously I knew that it wasn't right. Would throw up. Like I would eat a lot of food. It was like I'd eat like a whole block of chocolate because the block of chocolate was like my kryptonite. And I'd eat like a whole block of chocolate, and then I'd later then be like, why did I eat that? Also subconsciously say to myself, it's okay, you can just throw it up later, like just enjoy it now, you know, eat it, it's fine, and you can just throw it up later and it doesn't count, it's fine. It was a really bad state of mind that I was in, and I don't think you realize that you're going through it at the time. You have these little like things in your head, people talking to you, and it's so bizarre because you never think that something like that would happen to you, but you're sitting there and you can hear things going on in your head like, don't do it. And you know, like you don't want to do that to your body, like don't do that. But then you have this thing in your head also that's going, you can go throw that off now, throw it up now, or you're gonna get fat, throw it up or you're gonna get fat. And it's like this constant battle in your head that no one can, like no one knows, but you're going through this awful thing. Slowly I kept doing it. I'd do it every night. I was so sneaky about it. My sister And my parents started to notice, but my sister mostly, because like I'd be in the bathroom next door and she'd like hear noises or something and she'd be like, that doesn't sound right. I went from like the toilet to like the shower. It makes me sick thinking about it. I was in a very, very not good place in my life. I was going through a lot of shit at school. I was also going through a lot of shit at home. I was going through a lot of shit in my life. Social media was, I think that it weighed a lot on me mentally as well as me physically. It's so heavy. I'm being super, super real with you guys now because I'm in a place where I feel like I can be. Obviously, I wasn't in a good place, hiding it from everyone, but my sister started to find out and she told my parents, and I was in denial. My parents would ask me, like Cassie would ask me, and I'd be like, no, like what are you talking about, like that? And I think I was in year 11 at this stage, and my parents actually took me to go see a counsellor, and I had to. So every Tuesday we'd go see a counsellor, and then we went to a doctor. But then this doctor sat down with me and my parents left the room, and it became really, really real. Like it's a pretty confronting thing to be sitting down with a stranger in front of you, and they only wanted the best for me, and they did an amazing job at dealing with it, especially in a situation where they have no idea how to deal with it. But I like to think of myself as a pretty strong person, and I thought that I had control over everything that was going on in my brain, but I didn't, and I did need help. And that is something that I cannot stress enough, is that you don't want to, and how shameful it was. I felt like that I needed to go see a counselor. Like what in the world? Like I don't need that. Like I'm strong enough to go through this on my own. But I needed that help. I had so much going on in my life at that stage. I was starting year 12, like year 12 unit, and year 11 I was going like through a lot of shit at school with like bullying and whatever. I also had trolls on the internet, like the worst internet stuff going on as well, like social media stuff going on as well. So I was just in a very, very like difficult place, and then this was on top. It helped me so much by getting things off my chest, to come to terms with things, to say things out loud. It's an amazing thing. It's very therapeutic. Slowly I started realizing that like this isn't good. We'd take precautions, the door open, like the bedroom door open, or like the bathroom door, just to get my brain out of that, like you don't have to eat things and then throw them up. All of this came from a really poor knowledge of food. I had such a poor knowledge of food, and that I thought that calories were the enemy, and carbs were the enemy, and fats were the enemy, and any food at all, they were the enemy. And it was such a poor knowledge of food, which is why now I'm so passionate about everyone having an amazing knowledge of food, or at least a substantial knowledge of nutrition and diet. I know how much it can like take a toll on your life. Ultimately, this thing in my head just took this massive toll on my life. It came from a really poor understanding of food, where I thought that food was the enemy and I had to get it out of me in order to stay thin and to stay skinny and to keep up my image and go on with my life being like a normal person. Like I just thought that that was just fine, but really I wasn't in control. And so seeing this counselor, getting this off my chest and understanding things more, I'm gonna try and stop speaking about that now and move on to the next bit, because there's just so much in that. I actually recovered really, really well. My support from my friend, I didn't even tell my boyfriend at the time. I was ashamed, and they were so supportive, and it really, really helped me come to terms with it wasn't something wrong with me. It was something that happened to me, and that doesn't define who I am, and I can move on from that and become stronger from it. So then I met Dean, and honestly I think that was such an amazing thing for me, because being in his space and eating stuff, I actually couldn't go and binge and then throw up. Like I couldn't, like I was stuck in an environment where it was foreign, and if I just went and disappeared for half an hour to I found that was very unattractive. So I didn't ever want to put myself in the position of being caught out doing that. As weird as it is, it kind of helped me. So I got through it all. I came to terms with it, and I moved on from it. And then I started to have a really big passion about food. I had to recover for a little bit until I started like speaking and learning about food, because I didn't want to like trigger myself or anything like that. They say that it stays with you, which I still believe that it will always stay with you. But I was fortunate enough to go through it badly for a while and then come out of it pretty quickly. Started to learn about food. My boyfriend was actually massively into gym at the time. He was like, when I met him, he was like muscular and fit and healthy, and I remember like being at home with Cassie and he'd be like on a Friday night, oh, I really want to go to gym, like I just want to get in an hour session, so I'm just going to go to gym and then I'll come over. And I'm like, oh. So he went and did that and came over. I remember going to gym with my sister and going, yeah, I really should get more into this. I was so physically active to then going to nothing. I didn't understand my body to change it. Like I wanted a big bum, but I was doing cardio and I was going for runs and I just didn't understand. I just didn't think it worked. It's extremely discouraging when you don't have the right information and you're doing something that isn't working for yourself, because like obviously then it's going to be not working for you and it's going to be super unmotivating because you just feel like nothing is working, and it's like, oh well, then why even bother? Dating him, it really made me like see things that I hadn't seen before, which was like weight training. So I started getting more into weight training because of him. Starting to become more of a trend as well, like weight training, because back then, honestly, like 4 or 5 years ago, it wasn't a thing. Like not many chicks would go and do that. It was starting to become a thing, but it wasn't a thing. I actually then became the ambassador of a gym, funny enough. So I did sign up to a couple gyms here and there. I just do a couple trials and I didn't love it because it was super intimidating and I hated it because I actually had no idea what I was doing. So it was super intimidating. I had no idea what I was doing and I was just like, this is embarrassing. Like I'm supposedly some fitness girl on Instagram, but all I do is go for a run. So I didn't want to go into a gym and have no idea what I was doing. People would judge me and whatever. So I was so scared of that. And I say that I don't care what anyone thinks, but the gym is a super intimidating place when everyone knows what they're doing and you don't. You feel so uncomfortable and so out of place. And it's like, if you like went to gym and had no idea, it's kind of like you take 2 steps back because you then just lose all motivation and you go, nah, stuff it. It's a really weird mindset, but I've completely been there and I completely understand if you guys have been to gym and are like, I hate it because it's so awkward and intimidating. I was always told, if you do weights, if you do squats, like that kind of stuff, you're going to get bulky, like you're gonna look like a sumo wrestler. I had more of a mesomorph body and my sister had more of an endomorph body, so I would just go for runs and I'd do squats and like I had these little tiny stumpy legs. So I was always told that if you do weights and if you do squats and that kind of stuff, even body weight stuff, that you're gonna look like a sumo wrestler. Your legs gonna get big and it's just not attractive for a female. Like that's kind of what you were told. I never really even ventured into that or looked into that because I thought, I don't want to do that to myself. But I hate that that is what people were telling me because it's so wrong. I went to the gym and I got a personal trainer. I was the ambassador of a gym called Energy. Let me be the ambassador, like the face of the gym, but I'd have to do personal training sessions. So I did like 3 a week, I think it was at the start. And I did it with a guy named Mick. And I can put his Instagram here, and he was amazing for me. He started my journey into lifting weight, muscle building, like bodybuilding and all that kind of stuff. He started that journey, and so I actually went into it not knowing a single thing, but thinking that I was pretty freaking strong for someone who doesn't actually do anything. The reason why I have been strong and I have more of a mesomorph body is because I did gymnastics for so long. So I never lifted weights as such, but I did a lot of body weight exercises and stuff that made my body still strong because I was born and molded into a gymnast. Gymnasts just have this more mesomorph kind of body type, I feel, at least. I actually, apparently, my doctor said that because I was doing gym from such a young age to such a, like to 12 or whatever it was, because they're pushing and putting so much pressure on your body to like stretch and be flexible, hold your body weight, I actually stopped growing as much. So my growth plates, like I didn't have any more room to grow. Anyways, that's an offside, sorry. I'm getting so sidetracked because there's just so much information. I got this ambassadorship and then I went and started personal training with Mick. I did it 3 times a week. We'd do legs and then and he was a big emphasis on legs, and I was like, why can't we just do abs? Like, I just want abs. I don't want big like legs. Like, why can't we just do abs? I didn't understand it, and he probably was like, you have no idea, sweetheart. I had no idea, and I'm just being truthful, like I literally had no idea. I went to gym and I started training legs with him, and he killed me like I've never been so sore in my life. I literally couldn't walk or get, like, even just getting out of bed, I'd be in so much pain for the next few days because DOMS, which is delayed onset muscle soreness, because I had never done it really, to then going into this intense like weight training, slowly progressing though. So I'd only be lifting a little bit and doing a little bit of weights, but it was like a lot for my body to adjust to. I was so sore at the start. I just remember being so sore, and like I literally remember walking out of the gym, my legs caved in and I fell over because my legs stopped working because of how tired they were and how tired I was. So anyways, I started doing that. I trained legs, upper body, but I really wanted just to be known for abs. So I just wanted to train abs, and he kept telling me like, yeah, you can incorporate abs, but I wouldn't just work on abs in just a session. I never really understood why, because I thought that like spot reducing fat was a thing, but it's not. Over the sessions, in those hours, he'd just give me so much information and like offload all this information to me, and I just became so intrigued that I just started like researching and learning and investigating and like feeding myself with all this knowledge. So passionate about it because I know how much of an impact it can have on your life. And he also started a diet plan with me. He told me that I'm under eating massively. I was eating like nothing. I'd literally wake up, I wouldn't have breakfast because I didn't believe in it. I wouldn't eat breakfast. Like I didn't eat breakfast like my whole high school. He gave me a diet plan, and it was like to eat a banana in the morning, a big salad with a tin of tuna, chicken or steak or something like that with vegetables, and then with some carbs, so like potato or pumpkin or sweet potato, whatever. So I was doing that, did that for a while, and I started seeing changes in my body. He gave me this meal plan. It was actually extremely hard for me to adjust to. I just didn't think that that was right. I was like in that mental frame that I know my body better than you do, and I don't think that I should be feeding myself that much food. And I slowly started to see changes. When I started training with him and eating what he told me to, I had so much more energy. I was so much happier. I was so much healthier, so much fitter. Like I was enjoying my sessions because I could do them better. Like get in the gym and not feel fatigued. When they say that it's a lifestyle choice, it actually really is a lifestyle choice. You have to make that decision to change your lifestyle just as much as your PT. Like if you don't listen to what they have to say, then how are you going to change? If you want to see change to happen, you have to make change happen. If I wanted to see a change, I had to change something about what I was doing. Just training more wasn't going to be the solution. You have to feed your body. It's like a fuel base. Like if you don't give a car fuel, it's not going to be able to run. Well, you have to give a body fuel, otherwise it's not going to be able to work. That's what I had to get used to, and it's not easy. It's a very big process, especially if you've come from a background like I have with an eating disorder. It was not easy, but I adapted and I made it work, and I started seeing changes, and it was amazing. I started training with him like 5 days a week and doing like really big training sessions. I came to a point, I think it was like a year on, where I was training with him full time, like every day of every week. Started coming to a position where I was like, I know what I'm doing. Like, as much as I loved having a PT, and I still believe that having a PT is great because they can push you, they push you a little bit further, that extra 5 reps is what makes a difference. Have a PT or whatever, you're making an investment into yourself and your fitness and your life and your lifestyle. Worth it, I personally believe. So then I stopped doing PT training with him. To have enough knowledge to do my own routines at the gym. I knew what we'd been doing for a year. I just took that and did the same things that we were doing there. I was just eating the same amount of foods, and I was going to gym, and I still kept seeing changes in my body, and it happens pretty quickly. Like over 8 weeks you can see a pretty big change. And I also started working with Elite supplements because they were giving me supplements, so I learned a bunch about supplements as well. Mick helped me so much in that respect as well. But I was working with Elite supplements and Right Aware, and this gym I was being the ambassador of. But then a year went by and my contract was up. I just started paying for the gym because I loved it so much. And I do really think that when one door closes, another opens, and it definitely did in this respect. I started talking to my boyfriend Dean about like bodybuilding, these people who were bodybuilding, and like I'd go into Dean's gym and I'd see like all these bodybuilding like pictures of people, and they just looked so amazing. Like their body composition was just amazing. I wanted that for myself, but I didn't really know how to get there. Like as much as I was training, I just thought that required like intense amount of training, and I was already training a fair whack. So but then I had an opportunity to work with Iron Body. So Iron Body is a gym. His name's Marcus. He approached me to come work for them, collaborate, and we'll do some stuff, and then we'll do a bodybuilding competition and we'll work towards that. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So I started going to gym with him, and holy shit did he teach me something else. A fiance, who is a bodybuilding like champion. Like, she's amazing. So he works really well with women to get them to a bodybuilding state, so like for competitions and whatever. I decided to go work out with him, and I thought that was an amazing opportunity, and it seriously was. He taught me so much. Like, he taught me so much about how much food I'm eating was so much under what I even thought I was eating, so I had to eat like so much more, but I had to trust the process, like really trust the process, and I had to go with what he said. And it was so hard for me, coming from eating nothing to then eating more food. How am I going to get rid of my body fat? Like, it just didn't make sense to me, and so I had to really trust the process. I lost, as you guys probably saw in my last video, I did a body progress video, and I think I trained with him for like a month, and I literally lost 2 kilos in 2 weeks. My body fat percentage dropped like by 6%, which is for women is like a lot of body weight, and I was like working towards something, and I really was so passionate about it. Like, I really wanted to get there, and like when I set my mind to something, like I go full out or nothing. And so I was weighing all my food, I was taking it so seriously. I really wanted to do this comp, and I really wanted to change my body, and holy shit, I saw changes in like literally 2 weeks. I saw changes, and then 4 weeks later I saw even bigger changes. He like worked with me and reassessed me every week, and honestly I thought it would be so much harder than it was, because it wasn't that hard. His mindset was like so amazing for me, and it's just great to get different perspectives and things, and he's really worked for me. I saw massive changes, but then I got to like this position in my body which I was so happy with. Like, I was actually obsessed with how my body was starting to look. I was so happy, felt like everything was falling into place. And then obviously something has to happen, a hurdle. I entered into the competition for, it was March. I spent all summer, I didn't drink, I didn't eat anything unhealthy. Like, I was such a strict diet, just because for me and for my goals, that's what I had to do to get there. It wasn't for anything else other than I needed to do that to get to this goal for the bodybuilding competition. I went on a boat for a day with my boyfriend and whatever, his boat. I was out, I hopped on the wakeboard because I like to wakeboard. I jumped and I landed really weirdly. I sprained my feet. Like, I couldn't walk for a month. I couldn't walk for a month. So I don't know what I've done to my foot, but I'm not walking on it because I can't. Like, it literally hurts so much to walk on it, so I'm just chilling at the moment. I couldn't even crawl for like 2 weeks. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't get up and make my own meals. I couldn't do anything at all, and it was genuinely extremely discouraging. But oh well, obviously I had to cancel my bodybuilding competition, and then everything else happened in the world. No one can really go to the gym at the moment, but I think along the way I learned so much. So that is kind of what my journey with fitness has been. I have gone from not knowing anything at all. I went from working out and just doing like activities, just sports that I wanted to do in general, and eating a lot, to then eating absolutely nothing because I thought I had no knowledge on food, to then going to eating a little bit, to then eating a lot, and realizing that if you feed your body with good and healthy foods, and you feed it and you train, you're doing everything right. I learned a lot in my body progress, in my fitness journey, and I just think it's an amazing thing to know, and that's why I'm so passionate about it, is because I know how much of a toll it can have on someone, and just learning things and having knowledge, it's so amazing. Doing a PT at the end of last year, it goes for about 6 months. I've been learning a lot, but I already knew a lot, so it's super amazing that I'm going through this course and I'm like, I knew all of that. Like, that's awesome for consolidating my knowledge. Anyways, so that was kind of my fitness journey. Training your body wherever way it may be, like, as long as you enjoy it, it is so rewarding, and your body loves it. Like, if you're feeding yourself with good food and often and a lot of it, and then also training, it's going to thrive off that. There's still a lot that I've got to learn, don't get me wrong, and that's what I'm learning. While I'm in isolation, I'm doing a lot more studies and everything on it, but I just think that nutrition is such an important thing to know, and I just wanted to share a little bit of knowledge with you guys so that I can help you too. I think I've spoken a lot in this video, and I'm so sorry if I bored you. I just wanted to give you guys as much information as possible, and obviously just help you out as much as possible by giving you my knowledge. knowledge. I think it's super important. I hope that seeing my fitness journey and hearing a few things that I've learned along the way helps you on your own journey. I would love to talk to you guys more about like motivation and like tips to grow your bum and getting shredded abs and stuff like that, eating disorder and all that kind of stuff. I can definitely talk about that more in different videos just dedicated to that, but it's a very broad topic for me to talk about in just one video, so I'm so sorry if I missed some certain things that you guys would have liked me to talk about. However, in saying that, I hope I covered a lot. This has been a very, very long awaited video, and my before and after pictures rewarding on the hard work that I have done to get to that position, information that I've gained to be able to, I guess, put in place those measures. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been a very, very big video, but I knew it would be, so that's why it took me so long to film. We'll see you in my next video.